Hello and a very warm welcome to this special. India missed out on a huge opportunity to create history as they lost the third and the final test by 7 wickets to South Africa. This after an absolutely brilliant performance from Keegan Peterson on the day. How brilliant has he been throughout the series? Once again, scoring 82 runs to take South Africa to victory. India on their part tried everything, but nothing sort of went their way. Even the luck was not going their way. And in the end, India have lost that opportunity. When they started this series, they were the favorites. They went in against a team that was a young team in transition, had to see the retirement of Quinton de Kock midway through the series, but South Africa stood tall against one of the best bowling attacks in the world and registering a win in this test match, and with that, winning the series. Nikhil Narayan is here with me. A disappointing performance, Nikhil. How distant does the win in Centurion seem at the moment, given how India have lost the last two test matches?
Absolutely, Maya. A very disappointing performance from India, especially after what transpired at Centurion. I actually thought, along with a lot of cricket pundits, that India will win 3-0. On the other hand, it turned out we have lost the series 2-1, a series we should have won. We are by far the more talented team on paper, more superstars in the team, a fast bowling unit which has conquered the world, a much superior batting unit, but still against all odds, South Africa, through sheer great determination and fight, showed that talent is not the only quality required in a team. And they came back and defeated a fancied India. And this win is a massive, massive win behind South Africa's Test cricket history. This could mark a resurgence of a young, inexperienced team in the leadership, under the leadership of Dean Elgar.
That is right, because you saw in the match in Centurion how they were completely outplayed. It was a team that had not played red ball cricket in the last 6 months. They looked rusty in the first game, but the turnaround has been tremendous. And it was led by Dean Elgar and Keegan Peterson. I mean, these two batsmen, you must doff your hat to how South Africa have played, specifically how these two batsmen have batted. Also, a huge applause for their bowlers, Nikhil. But for India, I mean, this was really one of the best opportunities that India had of registering a series win. They were a better team. They were the informed team. They'd beaten New Zealand at home. They have the best bowling attack ever in the history of cricket in India. And yet to lose like this, I mean, they must really regret all the lost chances.
Absolutely, Maya. This is a golden opportunity gone by for India. India was the #1 team in the world before the series. South Africa were number 6. South Africa had the 8th worst batting unit in terms of average since AB's retirement in the world. 8th worst. I mean, imagine that. India were amongst the top 2. So yet India could not, press for a win against this South African side. The next time India tour South Africa after 3 or 4 years, many of these superstars will not be there. So, it's a big blemish on Virat Kohli's captaincy career, which has been outstanding so far. Australia, England, this could have completed a legacy, but that will not be completed now. It's a big personal disappointment for Virat Kohli, the captain.
That's right. The first match in which India scored 300 plus in the first innings was the difference. From there on, in the last 2 matches, they get 266, 223, 202, and then 198. It's a very clear-cut thing. India's batting has let them down, and it's not the bowling to be blamed.
Yeah, absolutely, Maya. See, India has lost both at Johannesburg and at Newlands in the third innings. The third innings batting has led India down in both these matches. India thought a target of just 200 plus would be enough at both these venues. Clearly, it was not. Batting collapses in the third innings in Johannesburg and at Newlands have cost India the match. In this match also, the way the lower order batted did not support Pant, who had done all the hard work, a brilliant counter-attacking innings, 46 for 6 in the second innings, and that was it. I mean, that defined the match for India, gave South Africa the confidence. Of course, India's batting failures in the top order. Rahul was excellent in the first match, but then his form went down. Agarwal was very disappointing in the series, only 150. Also, Rahane and Pujara. Pujara, 2 good innings, but 4 failures. Rahane, 4 failures. Apart from that brilliant 111 run partnership, nothing more to write home about. So, the batting did, the batting sort of left a lot to be desired. Only 2 sort of outstanding knocks, or 3, I would say: Rahul, Virat Kohli, and Rishabh Pant. But apart from that, not a complete team effort by the batting unit.
And that's why I wonder now, what is the future of Pujara and Rahane? Virat Kohli was asked this question in the press conference as to what does he think is the future for Pujara and Rahane, and he was very clear that that's a decision that he doesn't want to make, and that's also a decision that is going to be made by the selectors, and rightfully so. But why I'm asking you this is now things are getting complicated for them. They've scored runs, yes. They did well in the second test match, but it wasn't enough. And the difference in how India have played in, say, England, or for that matter, Australia, is that India was winning. And that's why some of the performances there was going unnoticed. Whereas here,
right,
with that batting failure, the team has lost. And I believe that the knives are sharpened and that things are not going to look really good for Pujara and Rahane.
Absolutely. See, the thing with Pujara is that he does produce, 1 or 2 support acts overseas. I think he will still get a series or 2, at least in India, and he won't be dropped immediately. But the thing with Rahane is that, yes, he played a really good half century in the second test, although India lost. He and Pujara, the 111 run stand. But those sort of innings are very far and few between. You can't produce one such knock in 15 innings and then fail in 10 of the 15 innings. That is not how top class batsmen in the middle order perform. I think the time has come for Rahane. Hanuma Vihari and Shreyas Iyer will be given a chance come the home season. India has lost a big series here, and I think some heads will roll, and I think Rahane will be the first to sort of not make it into the squad for the home series which follows.
Okay, let's talk about India's bowling now. Constantly being put under pressure because of the kind of totals that Indian batsmen had set. They still bowled well. Why I think it was a problem was that luck wasn't going their way. Even today, in the first half hour, while India was bowling, there were 16 or 17 false shots by the South African batsmen. Yeah. And yet, there was not an edge or a near miss, or none of the catches fell short. So, I mean, you're looking at a team that anyway was struggling because their batsmen weren't putting on good totals, but also the luck wasn't in favor of the Indian bowlers, sorry.
Absolutely, Meha. In fact, the Indian bowlers, induced more false shots from the South African batsmen than vice versa. But South African bowlers bowled more wicket-taking deliveries, and luck was on their side. Pujara dropped a catch, which is sitter today. That whole Dean Elgar LBW. Then Mohammad Shami, that controversial decision, umpire's call in the 55th over, that could have gone either way. So a lot of decisions did not go India's way. Luck was clearly not on their side. When the going, there's Murphy's law, right? When something goes wrong, it goes wrong completely. And that was the case with India. The heads were down post lunch. It didn't even give Bumrah and Shami a run post lunch. So it was basically I think India were rattled since after yesterday what happened with Dean Elgar. Since then, India haven't been in this match and losing by 7 wickets. It's not a close finish. It is a big thrashing victory for South Africa. I think India were rattled by some of the close calls, the DRS, and some of the other calls which did not go their way. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, South Africa have beaten India before at home, so there's nothing new in that. But this still turns out to be a huge win for them, given the situation that they were in. And this win throughout the series was, there was one man who was instrumental in creating those positions for South Africa, and that was Keegan Peterson. Everybody's been calling him KP, getting confused with Kevin, but Keegan Peterson, and how Keegan Peterson now, Nikhil, is the future for South Africa. I mean, now becomes the highest run scorer in the series after his 82 today. But just the batting display that he showed, I mean, it was wonderful to watch.
Absolutely, man. Two high impact performances under severe pressure and two innings of contrast. If you see the first innings performance, he wanted to spend time at the crease, attached a price on his wicket. He played out 166 balls because that was the need of the hour. That was the situation. And in the second innings, he knew he had to score quickly because that is how chases are done at Cape Town. Historically, we spoke about this yesterday. You have to go at 3.5, 4, it becomes easier. So his 82 of 113 was a top knock. He took the attack to the Indian bowlers. It was not reckless. It was planned, calculated, all proper cricketing shots. And to produce this early in your career against one of the best attacks in the world, no one knows who Keegan Peterson, except that he has the same initials as KP, the great Kevin Peterson. This is a top knock by him. He has time on his hands. He seems to be a very gifted batsman. And I think this Keegan Peterson is going to do some wonderful things for South African cricket in the near future.
That's right. But the bowling, South African bowling, you knew that there was going to be Kagiso Rabada who would trouble the Indian batsman. But to see the way Marco Jansen bowled, or for that matter, Duane Olivier, who was coming back after a break, I mean, they were brilliant, and they knew how to utilize the conditions in South Africa much better. Their height helped them. They were, constantly putting pressure on the Indian batsmen.
Absolutely, Meya. Kagiso Rabada was a bit out of color in the last couple of years across the three formats. But since the words spoken by Dean Elgar completely transformed himself, since that second innings performance in Johannesburg, when he changed the match in South Africa's favor, Rabada has been absolutely brilliant. He was the highest wicket taker of the series, 20 wickets at a strike rate of 35.7, absolutely exceptional. But for me, Marco Jansen was a find for South Africa. His debut series at 19 wickets, the second highest wicket taker. It's the highest number of wickets for any South African player since their readmission in 1991 in a debut series. And the fact that the top three wicket takers are all South African pacers, tells you a story. It doesn't tell you the complete story because I think the Indian bowlers bowled as well, especially Bumrah and Shami. But I think the South African bowlers created more chances. And yes, the height factor was one of the reasons they did so. But the very fact that Bumrah and Shami do not feature, in the top three wicket takers, not even one of them, tells you a story.
I think the fact that this was their best opportunity, the fact that an Anrich Nokia gets injured right before the series, the fact that, a Quinton de Kock retires midway through the series, the fact that you won the first test match of the series emphatically in the way you did, India today, when they go back to their hotel, would know what a big opportunity they've missed here.
Absolutely, Maya. It is a massive, massive opportunity. I can't stress what India have. They will not, the next time India plays South Africa, whenever that is in 3 or 4 years, this South African team is going to be a tougher unit. It may again rise to be amongst the top 2 or 3 in the world. This South African team was in transition. It was the best time to beat them. Even Sri Lanka beat them in a series in South Africa a couple of years back. And this Indian team needed to beat, was expected to beat South Africa, if not 3-0, then 2-1. And I don't know what the future now lies for Virat Kohli. I mean, things haven't gone well between him and the cricket board. Not winning in South Africa will not be taken well by the BCCI. Also, what happened after Dean Elgar dismissal, a lot of criticism for Virat Kohli from various quarters that the captain should not have, said some of the things he did, and the team followed. So, I think there is going to be, some trouble in store for Virat Kohli again, and the whole saga with the BCCI will start again, which would not have happened had India won the series.
That's right. And in fact, in the press conference also, Virat Kohli looked down and out. There were questions being put to him about what went wrong, how they could have lost to a team like South Africa. And he said that they just played better. They were the better team. They, grabbed those moments in a test match, more crucial moments in a test match when they could. And one of the things that I want to ask you is that he was asked this question in the press conference, that him missing the second test, how much of a difference did that make? Now, he had a cheeky reply saying, if it was just my presence in the team, then we should have won the third test match as well. But it did make a difference. There was a difference in, what India could have done in terms of the energy levels and just sort of, marshalling the troops when you need to. You missed Virat Kohli in that second test match.
Absolutely. You miss Virat Kohli, the batsman. You miss Virat Kohli, the captain. The batsman who was absolutely brilliant in the third test, especially in the first innings. And the captain who's taken India to the number one ranked team for the last 4 or 5 years, the final of the WTC, etc., etc. So of course, India missed Virat Kohli in the second test match. Just because he was there in the third test and India lost doesn't mean the same would have happened in the second test. So yes, Virat Kohli, even if it is out of form with the bat, remains a big presence for India in the 11. He's one of the all-time greats.
That's right. So sometimes you just get a better opposition. You just get a better opposition that you need to doff your hat to and say, hey, well played. And that's exactly what India needs to do, because South Africa were a much better side in the last 2 test matches. And with that, winning the series and this test match by 7 wickets. So congratulations to South Africa. India, though, as we've been discussing, will rue this missed opportunity. But hey, there are more series to be played. The World Championship cycle has just begun. Hopefully, India will come back strongly. That's it from Nikhil and I here on News 9 Digital. For all the latest from the world of sports, keep following our website. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Put down in the comments below what you thought of our show as well. For now, goodbye. Thanks for watching.